Hey guys, welcome to a snowy northeastern New Jersey and New York today, where we're getting hammered pretty hard. Heavy winds, heavy snow. It's a trifecta of craziness outside. So, welcome to episode number 25 of 10-Minute Kick-Ass Coaching. I'm in my regular clothes today, working around the house because I really can't get anywhere. Can't even get outside the driveway. There's about a 4 foot, 3.5, 4 foot snowdrift outside the back of the driveway that kind of had us all plowed in between the snow and what the plow had to hit. So I've got some really good questions today. This is one that comes to me quite a bit, and it's been coming to me from people that are on both sides, people that started a business from just an entrepreneur, one truck pony, so to speak, to a multi-truck, multi-million-dollar company. So I am going to briefly go over, and there's many, many reasons, but briefly go over some of the reasons why a person would want to stay solo and just be a one-trick pony, as they say, a one-truck operation, to be a multi-truck, to be a one-truck operator to a multi-truck systemized enterprise. So we're going to discuss the difference between the two, and I'm going to do piece by piece. So number one biggest difference between one is no employees. You are the employee. It's built around you, and you. So you can't really change that. It's built completely around you and what you think. And if you want to have a board meeting with yourself and yourself, you can record one person saying one if you want to be characteristic about it. But at the end of the day, it's about what you decide. You are the ultimate one that's going to execute whatever you decide to do. So that's kind of key versus employees, which means you have people in the field, you have people to manage, people to promote, people to work with, people to develop. But they're actually the people that are frontline of your business, not you anymore. Sure, the people probably have a past relationship with you or have a relationship with you, and that's great, and they know you, and if you put your guarantee out there of what you guarantee the work's going to get done, then great, it's not going to be an issue. But you now have your front line of employees, and that could be a good thing, or to some people that can be a bad thing. They like the control of just being by themselves. So that's an option to you. Same one, in charge of self, in charge of others. There are many people that go into business entrepreneur that cannot manage, do not want to manage, have no passing interest in managing people, just don't want to deal with it. And I've been on both sides of it, and it can be a challenge, there's no doubt about it. For me, I like managing and developing people, that's just what I like to do. But I know the advantages to just being that person that's in charge of myself. So you only got to be responsible for, again, you, and you. So there's no real difference in that. If you're not a managing type person that can hold people accountable, that wants to develop and maintain, build people, relationships, then yes, being a solo entrepreneur is definitely for you. You pay only yourself when you're a solo entrepreneur. It's true. You don't have split profits. It's great. Even the coaching business, I have me and I have a couple of joint venture partners, and I have some people to do some work for me every once in a while that I contract out, but generally it's built around me. And I hire these people because they're specialists in different areas that are much better at things than I am, especially when it comes to developing product or putting together a particular product for a consulting agreement. I'll hire a graphic artist to put things together. Even though I know how to design a lot of copy and marketing material, I've been doing it for years, I'm not the best at that. So I have one particular graphic designer I think is great, and I call her every time I need something done. And that's pretty much the way it goes. When I need something professional done for a client, that's where I go. So, limited income versus limitless income. Okay, so you can only work so much per hour. Even as a coach, there's only so many hours in a day. I have 3 different versions of how I coach. This is probably the easiest way to explain it. In the coaching realm, I can be one-on-one, which is majority of what I do. Group coaching, which is I do a little bit less of, but I'm getting more into now, where I can do coaching on multiple different platforms. I'm trying out Zoom software in order to be able to do that. That makes me more what they call scalable, and I'll get into that in a minute. And the other thing I do is a mastermind. Mastermind is the most efficient. It's the biggest investment from my clients, but they get the biggest value out of it. We meet one-on-one, a small group of people to work individually on their parts of their business. We exchange ideas between the two, and everybody walks out of there with a tremendous amount of value. I've had one of my clients say in particular that they know they'll do $1 million more next year just from those mastermind meetings. So I'm a big believer that masterminds are absolutely the best. That's why I labeled this group a mastermind, because I want it to be an exchange of ideas, how we help each other. I know One gentleman just put on some stuff about YouTube and SEO and some different things about branding and positioning your business. I thought the stuff was great. I just devoured it up and watched it, and I thought everything on there was really, really great. Well, that's an exchange of ideas. He exchanged an idea, put it on the site, and now I'm able to take that and use it in my own business. So that's what a mastermind is really about, is taking those ideas, tweaking them, but you're doing a structured environment where you have somebody that's acting as a facilitator, which is traditionally me in the settings I'm in, and I am trying to pull information out of people. It's one of the gifts that I've been blessed with having up to this point in my life, is being able to pull things out of others in order to get it, to manage, to lead, to coach, to mentor. I have a number of people I've worked with, just given free advice to over the years, that never hired me as a client, and they've always gotten value out of it from the feedback I get. At least that's what they tell me. So we know your income is very limited because it's not, you're very limited. It goes to my next one, non-scalable and scalable. The difference is, what scalable means is you can duplicate. So in the coaching realm, when I'm scalable, I'm doing group coaching, which means I can coach 5 to 7 to 50 people at any given time. That makes it more scalable. It brings my pricing structure down a little bit, makes it more reasonable for people to do, because it's not one-on-one, just involved in their business for an hour, 1 hour once a week, every week. Versus just I'm 1 hour and a whole bunch of people. So it makes it more reasonable, but it is less focused on that one person. So the scalability to that business is be able to work with a whole bunch of people, bring the price down, but then you're dealing with almost generalized content, which is something I'm not really crazy about. Everybody has different ideas of their business. Everybody wants to do something differently. I don't believe there is a canned thing where one size can fits all. Product I am working on right now is just to build a core competency in your business, to build a structure out. That's something that can really apply, because it's at the core level to everybody. But if you're not that way, if you're trying to build something that says, listen, Jane should do it this way, or Jimmy should do it this way, or Joe should do it this way. Jimmy, Joe, and Jane are 3 different people, and they're going to have 3 different ideas of where they should build the business to. So that's a big one right there. Self-employed job versus business. When you're self-employed, it's just you. Again, when you're a business, you have something that's involved into the business itself. Number 7, separate investments versus investing firm. What I mean by that is, when you're an owner-operator or a single solo entrepreneur, and you're thinking about just being you need to take the assets from that business, and you don't want to grow it, and invest it in something else. Could be real estate, could be stock market, it could be another business venture, it could be anything. But you need to take the profits that you make from yourself and move it into something else. Because if you don't, at the end of the day, you're going to be very tired, and unfortunately, from a lot of people, very broke. And you have not diversified your portfolio into something else. So if you're going to be a one-horse pony, is the term, or one-horse town, so to speak, you need to make sure you diversify those funds and those things into somebody else. That's crucial. There's no question about that. So I'm famous to say there's no question about that, because when I say there's no question, there is no question to me. It's pretty self-explanatory. So make sure, if you're going to be a solo guy, you're going to invest in something else. If not, you're investing in your company, your firm, your people, your staff, and so forth. Limited assets versus assets in stock and list. We have very limited assets because, again, you're not scalable, so you're only one person. You can only service so many customers at any given time. You can't do 3 jobs at the same time. You can only do 1 job at the same time. If you're a multi-truck company, a company in general, you're going to have multiple employees being able to bring in multiple streams of income. If you're just one person, you only can do 1 income at a time, unless you're really, really good and you're doing something else. But generally, it's 1 income, just like it's one-on-one coaching with somebody. I can only coach 1 person at one time unless I make it group coaching, which in my business I can do. If you're cleaning carpets, if you're doing restoration work and you're the only guy, or maybe you have 1 assistant with you, it's going to be tough to build that business up, because it's going to require you to respond to a couple different things at any given time. You have limited resale versus resale turnkey. So if you're a solo entrepreneur, your value is in what you have in the business. Now, that business could be your face, just you, your impression. Well, that's not very resaleable. Unless somebody knows they could take the presence you built and really scale that out to be, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 employees, and they could take your concept. Your concept is so good that they can take and do that. It's rare. It's very, very tough to do. You haven't built anything other than that. When a person wants to come in and really invest in your business and your structure, they're looking for whatever they can do to repay the investment they're putting into your company as quick and as tangible as possible in order to maintain a profit and start a profit from that day forward. So the faster, more efficient they can do that, the better. So if the business requires 8 employees in order to do your $1 million a year, and you resell the business is worth a lot more because you have 8 employees that already know the system, structures, and operations of the business. You may change a person or two out, maybe management out, because there's a little bit difference of opinion. That's fine. There is some changes that do happen, but in general, the company's built around those people. Those are some of the strongest assets in the business, between the list of customers you have and the people that are there, and how fast and turnkey that person that's going to invest in your business can get the return on investment, ROI, and then reduplicate and put that back out into the field. So last one is based on owner and based on company value. Well, if you have an enterprise or a firm, you have a value to your company. So I talked about, you have something scalable that you can sell that the person can take and tangible out. If you have something that you're selling that operates around you as one person for $1 million, and you're the fixture of that business, you're going to have a major drop. It's just almost guaranteed. However, if that business is built around you and you have other people that know the systems, processes, and procedures in place along with that list, that can make it seamless, and you're just there as a face to say, hey, I endorse this, or I'm petting the dog like this, whatever it is you're doing in order to make your customers happy that you're still involved in the business, then fine, then you can do that. But if you are it and that's it, and you're the face, and something changes very quickly, people leave. Big example of that here in New York. New Jersey, restaurants change. So a restaurant will go and they'll be very successful for 20 years, and then they'll sell to a new owner, and people say automatically, the food's not the same. I didn't get treated the same. I don't like it. It may be the same, maybe better. You don't know. But they got this thing in their head, they don't like change. We've already addressed most people don't like change. I happen to like change for the most part, but people don't like change. So that's really what it comes down to. Is what is the simplest way to have the value on your business, on your life, and what is going to get you to the path you want to be and the path you want to create the fastest and most efficient and profitable at the end of the day. So I want to thank you so much. This is episode number 25. We rounded the corner. Our first 25 are now done for our 10-minute kick-ass coaching session, coming to you from snowy New Jersey. Yes, I put on the visual effects for snow. It is really snowing this hard outside. Probably worse because the wind is blowing. So I want to thank you for your time today. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you tomorrow with a brand new episode of 10-minute kick-ass coaching. Have an awesome day and stay safe if you're in the Northeast. Thanks. Bye.